Hello everybody, welcome back to the Dopecast.
Hello.
I'm Dopefish.
I am all natural, no artificial additives, Anderson.
And with us today we have the eminent Fateweaver.
Wow, that's just killed my introduction for myself. Wow. I was all there. I had my Sir Nicholas voice on and everything. I was about
You
to
don't
say
need an
all that.
introduction. You're Fateweaver.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Hello, everyone.
Alright, that was terribly awkward. Let's just jump straight into the questions, I think. Fateweaver,
Hello.
where are you from?
Lots of different places, but originally London.
London, mate.
London, East London. Around about
Alright.
Barking, that way.
How old are you? How long have you existed?
I am 4 months younger than Flippin' Kamikaze, and that's pretty much all that matters. Otherwise, I'm 30.
Alright, well, at least you got him beaten in something.
I know. I remind him of it as every opportunity I can. And now it's immortalised on YouTube, so I can just play it on a clip every time I want to wind him up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, you're Fateweaver. Why is
Yes.
that? Why that name? Where does that come from?
Well, there's a story, I suppose. Basically,
Ooh, story time.
yeah, because I had to drop absolutely everything from my life prior and flee the country and God knows what else. I had to drop my username, so I deliberately went for something that was very common, but at the same time still expressed the interests that I had, because I'm a Warhammer fan and things like that, you know. So I couldn't use anything unique, you know.
So is
because-
Fateweaver something in Warhammer?
So it is
Yeah,
not.
a Fateweaver is I think it's like a greater demon of Tzeentch. Yeah.
Ah.
Which is
So
like,
it is not in fact because you are a rampant fan of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
No, I actually had it before then, which was funny because it meant people started
There's
googling.
a Fateweaver in Amalur as well?
Yeah, he's like the only good character in the whole game,
Oh,
and a drunk.
welp. Alright, so how long have you been a part of this terrible community?
That's not that bad.
He means
I'm-
Dopelives, not London.
No, I mean Warhammer fandom.
Escape that one. Well, I came in summer of 2012, so according to most people, I'm still a new fag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
And,
Everybody's a
and
new
you
fag.
and you came in summer. That's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and worse, and one of them summer types. Yeah.
How did you find us in the simmer?
How did I get here?
Yeah.
Well, I was pretty miserable at the time, and there was a YouTuber that made me laugh all the time consistently, so I decided to see what the website was all about. And then I came in, and I saw an Alfina stream, and then I saw 3 other streamers before I saw you stream, and I realised that actually it was a pretty chill place. So I lurked, and then a few months later, somebody made a call for D&D, so I thought I'd offer my services. You thought I was a massive tosser, but we got on anyway.
And nothing has changed.
And nothing has changed.
So yeah, you GM'd the D&D game for us.
Yeah.
Which leads me into the next question. How much of a fat nerd are you, really?
Well, I'm not just a fat nerd. I'm an enabler of fat nerds. I owned a friendly local gaming centre.
Oh, Jesus.
So I sold fat nerd merch to fat nerd people. People became fat nerds. I had young teens come into the shop and they left as enormous beasts.
So you weren't just an enabler, you were a pusher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey kid, try role-playing. First one's for free.
You want to become a wizard? It works in 2 ways.
Yeah, so you say you used to run that, which
Yeah.
means that you don't anymore. What do you do for a living right now?
I sit on my fat ass and tell everybody that everything's terrible, for the most part.
So you're like a Fox News host?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'm like Donald Trump. I'm running for president.
You're like Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Just sit on your fat ass and tell her about how terrible everything is.
Well, you know, a bit of a doomsayer. I don't really do much. I work online, and that's about it. I'm sort of like it's quite weird because I've been taking 5 years off
From
life. It's pretty much the only way to describe it. Is
yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I did about 15 years worth of stuff in the space of 5, and then I decided, wait a minute, you know, everything just got too much at the end, so I'm essentially having 5 years off, and it's been going quite well for me, I suppose.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
So are you just sort of coasting along?
Yeah.
Or are you making a decent income on the net stuff you're doing?
I'm coasting along. I'm sort of picking myself back up again and thinking of ideas for what to do next. I want my gaming centre back, but the current economic climate doesn't really allow for it right now.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
But
how'd you end up with it in the first place? Did you like take something over, or did you start something?
Well, actually, it was a Chinese restaurant that was closing down. And I was there and I was just thinking, wow, this is just the perfect size and shape for a place where I can have a store in one bit and a playing place behind it.
So you like the restaurant bit where people sat and ate their fucking fried noodles?
Yeah.
That's where you had your gaming done?
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool.
And,
you should have done it when the restaurant was still open so you could have fried noodles with your game.
Well, I put a George Foreman in the back so that we could make bacon sandwiches whenever the hell we wanted. So.
That's great. All right, so
this next question is kind of given away already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, what are your hobbies other than video games?
Well, D&D is the obvious. Card games. Huge fan of card games.
Have you ever played them on motorbikes?
I was hoping. You know what? I was going to make the joke, and then I thought, no. It's 2015. No, leave it to the ladder goat guy to make the fucking joke for us.
Of course, man. You gotta have le funny memes in the podcast.
When will there be a funny meme card game? It's sort
I
of
guess
like...
you could say that you just activated my trap card.
No.
Okay.
Seriously,
someone
though,
should make that a funny meme trap card. Funny meme card game.
It did just occur to me. There's no card game, and it seems to be a bit of a.
I mean, it would be shit, but it would be a license to print money.
Yeah, it would.
Suppose.
It would just print money.
Yeah.
Mudkip beats Seeking, that kind of thing. It depends how far back we're going. You could just keep going, but eventually you'll hit like Twinkie House, and you'll wonder, what are you doing? This is like 8 years in the past.
I'm gonna play the fucking cockbungler.
Yeah. Leak spin,
Yeah. Christ. Okay. So anything other than like D&D and board gaming? Do you enjoy long walks on the beach?
Cycling. I like cycling.
Like on a bike?
No, on a car.
No, I mean, because you can do it stationary.
What the fuck? That's not. How do you cycle stationary? That boggles my mind. How?
What?
How does that
You
even
go
make
to the
sense?
gym and you sit on a thing and you spin it
What?
with your legs.
I think he's trying to convey the idea
Is
of
that
an
sex?
exercise.
you sit on it and you spin. 3 minutes later, you're exhausted.
So you like cycling? Is that like you go for a bike ride every once in a while, or do you like follow the Tour de France and various other races?
I go on a bike ride every now and then, or at least that's what I tell people.
So you don't like cycling as in the sport?
No. It's sort of like the same problem I have with Formula 1. Once you've seen one lap, you've seen all the laps.
Yeah. That is
Amen.
pretty true. At least in Formula 1 there's fun crashes occasionally.
Yeah. It was awful when I lived at home because my parents would insist on watching Tour de France every year, and that shit is like on 1.5 channels out of 2 all throughout the summer. It's like, oh well, there's nothing interesting going on right now, so let's go to the studio with some people talking about people on bikes.
Yeah.
How about other stuff on TV? Well, we also have this retrospect of last year's people on bikes. Fuck off.
And now we interrupt for the news, and it's all about the bikes.
Yeah.
That's true. All right,
hang
so
on. I'm going to take a mouthful of tea, so hang on.
Oh, all right. Well, I can ask the question, then you can still listen, right?
Okay.
Fateweaver, what games are you playing right now?
Hang on, I'm drinking tea. No.
He
No,
doesn't.
you gotta
He doesn't mean you manipulating the two of us into getting at each other's throats.
Oh.
What games you playing? What you playing at?
What games am I playing? Well, to no surprise, Hex, which is.
Oh yeah. Is that like proper out yet? It isn't,
It's
right?
getting there.
Still...
It's started adding its PVE elements. They added a sort of arena to it, and it works quite well.
Right. So for the listeners and maybe Anderson as well, what is Hex?
Well, it's like Hearthstone, but closer to Magic the Gathering.
So it's a card game.
So it's a card game, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like an MMO card game kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the idea. At the end of it, they want to make an MMO card game where it's predominantly PvE and you attach gear to your cards and stuff like that. It's an interesting concept. We'll see where it goes, but, well, you know what ambitious projects are like these days.
Yeah. So is Hex better or worse than Infinity Wars?
Significantly better for reasons which I probably shouldn't slate on YouTube.
Fair enough.
It's automatically better because I installed Infinity Wars 3 times and couldn't get it to run. And I haven't tried Fate yet. No, sorry.
Hex.
Hex. I haven't tried Hex yet, which means that Infinity Wars is at a minus, whereas Hex is in neutral. So Hex is better.
Well, you can try me anytime you want. It could be interesting.
Well,
what was it? Yeah, I was actually on the quality assurance team for Infinity Wars.
Yeah, and it didn't quite work out as planned. Yeah. Like we can leave it at that. Is there anything else you're playing?
Well, I do like my card games. I'm about to start getting into World of Warships because it'd be foolish not to.
The planes one?
No,
with the
warships don't fly.
What's the fucking War Thunder? It's not War Thunder with the new expansion?
It's World of Tanks thing.
Oh,
See,
oh no.
World of Tanks, I don't really care about because I prefer War Thunder. World of Warplanes is awful. World of Warships, everybody is actually, everybody I ask anyway is raving about it. They say it's really, really good.
No.
And
well,
so
fair
why the
enough.
hell not?
How does that
I
work?
love
Do you
ships.
control a boat on your own, or do you like have a roller station on a big ship?
You have the whole boat.
Oh, so it's some kind of arcadey thingy, not simulator at all.
Yeah, but it's fun because I get to be in a boat and just be like broadside, bang.
Yeah, fair enough. Would be more fun if it was like 1700s with the cannons and all.
Well, it'd be more fun if it was Guns of Icarus, but nobody plays it.
Is that the Sky Pirates one?
That's the Sky Pirates one, which is absolutely hilarious.
I only got to play that once because I can never get people to play it with, but I agree, it's amazing.
Yeah, I was thinking of
Well,
doing it.
is that the one where you can be like Vikings and pirates or some shit like that?
Hey?
No, you're talking about Air Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was talking about chivalry.
For honor.
I'm talking about Deadliest Warrior.
For the order.
He's talking about his local LARP.
Yeah.
Man, I'd go LARPing just solely so I could scream, for the order or for Bogandir or something like that.
When are the three of us going to get together and organize a Dopelives con/massive summer LARP?
I don't know.
Never.
Ever?
No. I don't know. It sounds scary.
I mean, I have issues with LARPs because the whole idea of using what looks like a giant Nerf bat is just a bit too much on the side of make-believe and pretend for me.
Do you prefer, like, re-enactment
yes,
to LARP
vastly.
in that case?
Actually, the Cardiff Castle has a garrison full of full-contact reenactors, and I'm going to apply to it very soon.
Oh, so do you not need gear and stuff? Or do you have, like, a sword lying around?
I've got a few.
Oh. Fair enough. I can't have swords, they're illegal.
Really?
It's complicated.
Well,
it's bothersome to sort of buy and import them, and to store them you need to have special stuff to make sure that you can't use them as a weapon.
In Denmark you just need a license to have them, and that's like go to your police station, confirm that you've never tried to kill anyone with a sword, get your license.
That rules me out.
I think we do that with shotguns. As far as swords go, I think it's illegal to have them sharp and outside your house.
Yeah, you can't carry around a sword on town, I suppose.
Well, why am I not surprised that England treats swords the way the US treats guns?
Yeah, well, we got to have something, right?
Verily 'tis every man's right to bear a sword.
What ho! I will not donate to thine cancer charity.
Alright, so moving on. We have a special question for you.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Anderson, how about you take it, because you wrote it.
You are turned into the main character of a game and then transported into that game.
Right.
What character/game would you pick?
Oh, okay.
And just to make it tricky, it can't be a bloody card game.
Oh. Can it be chivalry?
You just turn into Uther. Well met.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I just be Uther or something like that?
Yeah.
Is he the main character?
No, he's one of the... Well,
it depends who you ask. If you ask me, then I'll probably just go, well met, until you leave. Okay, well, that's all right. That's an interesting one. And it's main character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
the protagonist.
The protagonist. I don't know. Devil May Cry.
Protagonist.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah, why the hell not?
So the new one?
So you're like a...
Well, I swear enough for the new one.
Crazy emo kid who sees devils and stuff coming at him?
Oh, wait, I have to actually become him? I just thought it'd be an interesting twist to see me walk around with a cup of tea and a sword and just...
Well, you're transported into the game,
Cry.
So, like, I guess you're in that universe. Maybe you don't have to act the way he does, but still.
I don't know, actually. What about... Civilization Beyond Earth.
Oh yeah,
I reckon I would finally
which character would you be?
I'd be the only interesting leader on it.
I don't know who that is.
Well, that would be
They're
me.
all really dull and boring.
It's a mod.
Fair enough.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, the games that I play don't really generally have protagonists in them. You know, I play card games, I play 4Xs, I play MMOs and stuff like that. So really, I'm at a bit of a loss.
Well, if you're transported into an MMO, just assume that you're, your own character.
Oh, Eve then.
Oh God.
Ah.
But Eve is scary.
Yeah.
So you'd basically be a wired-up corpse lying in a refrigerator controlling a ship.
Right. Well, if you replace ship with PC, you're not far off from life.
Fair point.
They don't want to go into Skyrim and visit amazing vistas and fight dragons or anything. No, I'll just play Eve.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to be in a game...
I'll just go and mine this asteroid for 72 hours.
Well, if you're so inclined, I wasn't much of a miner.
Alright, let's move on. Fate, who is your waifu?
Borgander.
This is the only legit answer.
Yeah, exactly. It's the only one allowed. However, theoretically, if I wasn't to be burnt, I don't know, Lucatil from Dark Souls 2.
Who's that? Which one's that?
Lucatil?
Yeah.
Man, why you gotta not know my waifu?
I don't know.
I have a legit excuse. I haven't played it yet, so.
Just Lucatil. She's there.
Is that one with
she's
the
a
hat
sword
that
woman.
comes...
Yeah, she's the one with the hat.
Oh,
it's a nice story. She's pretty nice. I like her. I don't know why. I never had a waifu before I played Dark Souls 2, and then I did, encountered her, and I was just like, you are the one. And then
Dark Souls 2 has a better waifu though. It's the bird lady.
The bird lady?
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, I don't know what their name is, but
I thought you meant like the actual bird. Like, give me soft, give me shiny. So okay, if you like that sort of thing, fair enough.
Yeah, those birds in the nest.
Soft.
Yeah.
Wait, give me soft, give me shiny. That's how women encourage me for sex.
Well, maybe you should stop hanging around crow's nests trying to get picking up.
Where else do I pick up pirates?
But I remember playing Dark Souls 2, and I was like, if I had to ever choose a waifu, it would be Lucatil, because there's just something about her that I really like. It might just be because she looks swag as fuck, and I can totally respect that. It might just be because I watch surprisingly
as a fellow
little anime.
swag Lucarian.
I missed that.
Well, never mind. You can respect her swag looks because you are also one with swag looks yourself.
Ah, I am one with the swag.
Yes.
Well, that's...
Use the swag, Luke.
that's for other people to judge. I've got a beard. I suppose that's some swag points.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
Also that she doesn't have a beard.
The wig you had on that live stream was pretty good.
Yeah, apparently I look good as a blonde. Who knew? Well, everyone knows now.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, let's move on to some feedback from last week's episode. First of all, I just want to say thanks for all the round stakes. You know exactly who you are and what I'm thanking you for. But yeah, Anderson, you put these in here, so hand it over to you to read them or whatever you choose to do here.
Well, the first one is a two-parter. First part, both parts are from Uncle Grimm. Man, I'm so excited for E3. I don't give a shit about the video games, I just love the awkward press conferences. You never know if you're going to get another classic like the 2010 Konami conference.
Was that the giant enemy crab and you push X to suck
I
one?
honestly don't know. I've never really followed E3.
Really?
Yeah, it's only this year I kind of watched some of the conferences.
Man, E3's like second to Eurovision for me.
Well, I've only
Wait,
really watched
on
one
what
Eurovision.
axis?
On axis of cheesy.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's pretty dreadful. It's really boring. But
Man.
at least you get some good news out of it.
Ubisoft never disappoint. Ever.
Oh, well, if you say so.
Well,
I mean,
well,
by
Ubisoft
being
never
cheesy-
failed to disappoint.
Yeah. They're always the cheesiest show every year.
Yeah. They never fail to disappoint. That I can definitely agree with. But they consistently do disappoint.
And semantics.
You
Yeah,
guys,
anyway.
you guys think that's a common thing, that people watch E3 more for the entertainment value than for what it's supposed to be?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Because it's just a corporate presentation full of buzzwords
Yeah.
with no actual value and meaning.
Yeah.
You'd have to be really like a big tool to actually watch it and be like, oh my god, when are they going to announce new Halo? Like, oh, please.
Or
just
shareholders, as they're more
Yeah,
commonly known.
exactly.
But,
I mean, the blockbuster titles and indie developers, and we've secured a contract with the ESR.
Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy. Yeah. It really is it's so overproduced. It's so shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they had done like one of those whole overproduced conferences just on Street Fighter V this year, I would have just eaten it up. I would just have been a good little sheep.
Nah, would you have been interested to hear about Capcom's 4-year plan of DLC and how they've secured several new developers in the Asia-Pacific region that will blah blah blah, etc., that has nothing to do with the actual game, though?
No, only if it pertains to Must Street Fighter.
But
yeah,
then,
but 90% of E3 has nothing to do with games.
yeah, but this is the thing. Like you were saying about entertainment value. I mean, E3 was supposed to be a press conference. It's supposed to be about outlining the next 4 years of DLC.
Yeah, for sure.
But
It's just turned
at
into
some
this
point,
expo thing
it became
recently, or fairly recently at least. Before it was just press allowed in, so...
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it is called an expo.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But it used to be just like a exclusive press conference thing. There weren't any fans allowed in until recently.
I thought it was the other way around, actually.
Wait, really?
I think it's both.
I don't even
Because-
know.
Change it
Fuck
again.
knows.
I
Who knows?
remember some years ago hearing that it was a new thing that now only press was allowed in.
Yeah, that's what I remember. That's
Oh,
what I
But that's
remember as well.
clearly not the case today.
Yeah.
So I think maybe they went the press only route and then kind of burnt their fingers on it and backed off.
Realised.
Oh, maybe so. I don't even
Maybe
know.
they just realised they weren't selling enough Mountain Dew. And they have corporate sponsorships to remember.
Yeah. Alright, so the next part of Uncle Grimm's question is, how do you guys pick guests for the podcast? Is it just a lucky member from the Dopelives community?
Yes.
And yes, pretty much. We've sent out some feelers, asked some people we know.
When we get
and
close
like.
to the deadline for making the Dopecast, we kind of get desperate because we don't have them yet, and we just start just desperately grabbing people in the chat. Please be on our podcast. We have nobody. You have to help us, and that happens every week.
I don't remember that, but I definitely remember Dope sending out feelers on me.
You felt them creeping up your body?
It was like a caterpillar.
Oh god.
The next bit of feedback is something that I can definitely relate to. It's Green Miscreant who says, "Don't ever get hype. At the best you'll be satisfied, and at the worst you'll kill yourself. Lower your expectations so you can be smug if it's shit or happy if it's good."
Yeah, Anderson, Street Fighter V looks like shit, doesn't it?
No, I'm
Man.
so fucking hyped for that. Just
That
no.
that whole comment is just Green Miscreant covering for the fact he's the newest streamer and not wanting to look bad about his streams.
Lower your
Lower your
expectations,
expectations.
people.
Don't be disappointed. Don't get hyped, please.
No, I think there's a lot of value in that, though, especially since at least, well, forever really, but even more so recently, the hype has just been garbage. Like, you get shown these quote-unquote gameplay trailers, and the actual game comes out, and it doesn't look
captured
anything
in
like it.
engine.
Yes, in-engine footage.
Yeah, it's the Uncharted thing which really showed that off really well, didn't it? Where you've got the this is currently being played on a PlayStation 4, and then when it comes out, it looks like it's being played on a PlayStation 3. And
it's a video being played on a PlayStation 4, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If it works, which it frequently doesn't during the demonstration.
Exactly. And also Dark Souls 2 did it really badly, where the final product looked so much worse.
Well, you didn't need a torch for a start.
I was really hyped for Dark Souls 2, but then it also didn't really turn out especially fun in comparison to the first one, at least.
What was the game that literally had different footage in the preview and in the game itself? Was
Watch Dogs?
No, I think it was that Aliens game, Colonial...
Oh, Colonial Marines, they had scripted sequences and shit that made it look kind of good.
Where they actually tried to generate hype by showing stuff that isn't even in the game.
Yeah. Well, they did that with Dark Souls 2 as well.
Yeah.
Serious?
I suppose.
Yeah, well, they had the whole thing with you pretty much needing a torch all the time.
Yeah,
and when you actually play it, you don't need it at all. And
Yeah.
then with the latest version, they've added bits where you do need a torch now, and it's just a case of, well, that means you were lying, surely.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit like Xbox backwards compatibility, where they turn around and they say, you know, look, you can play all these games now, and it's like, yeah, but why couldn't we before? It's the same fucking hardware. You're just telling us you've been ripping us off.
Yeah, exactly. I guess they weren't selling enough units, so, well, okay, I guess you can have this then.
Yeah.
We didn't really want to give it to you, but...
Well, it's 100 games as well.
It's because they desperately need for there to actually be games on the Xbox One.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, especially now, since after that Sony conference, it basically, when they, you know, the PlayStation 4 has games, and this is just a very strange phenomena to any Sony fan. And now Microsoft are... Well, what was it they had? They had that Minecraft thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and they had that bit
VR
where
glasses
the VR thing. You can project it on a table, you can manipulate with it, zoom in, all that. I was there thinking,
lightning strike.
But I was there and I was watching it. I was thinking this would be amazing in a hospital.
Yeah,
you know, if you were doing invasive surgery and stuff like that, this is where this technology belongs, and you've tied it to a $2 billion fucking Minecraft purchase.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. And,
I heard
what a waste.
Some critique afterwards about people actually know about that technology, and it seems, I'm not actually sure obviously, but it seems like they misrepresented it quite severely.
Oh, right.
That like your field of view is super limited and you couldn't do things like they did especially well.
Well, they did that with Kinect, didn't they? I mean, they advertised it as something that worked and it didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, my favorite news story ever is basically like Kinect is racist because it doesn't pick up the black people in the room. That is never not funny.
I have a friend. I have a female friend who.
Well done.
When you turn on your Xbox, you need to log in, and the Xbox One is supposed to have this thing where it automatically recognizes you.
Yeah.
And for her, it doesn't recognize her. But she's had several times where she's then bent over to pick something up, basically showed it her butt, and then it immediately recognizes her. Just, hello, name.
Well, you see, the thing is, you have to wonder what you've gotten it used to recognizing for it to pick up on someone's ass in the first place.
Alright, let us move on to our recommendations of the week.
Yay!
Our weekly recommendations. We've asked Fateweaver to bring one on, so I hope you have something ready. But why don't you go first, Anderson? What is your recommendation of the week?
Well, it's kind of topical because new stuff is happening, but it's not exactly new. But I have recently been getting back into this wonderful little free game called Path of Exile.
What is Path of Exile, Anderson?
It gets called an action RPG, but that term is just so mind-numbingly broad.
It is a Diablo clone.
Yes, it is a Diablo clone, and to many people it is the Diablo clone, and I can kind of agree that if you love Diablo 2, and you were massively disappointed in Diablo 3, as one or two people were, then...
one or two people.
One or two.
They shall remain unnamed.
Then Path of Exile might actually be the true spiritual successor to Diablo 2. It has a very old-school feel to it.
But it doesn't feel clunky or bad.
No, it doesn't.
It is fresh and innovative and groundbreaking and blockbuster indie developers.
The buzzwords, please. Triggering.
Exactly. No, but I can definitely second Anderson's recommendation. It is a very, very enjoyable ARPG, or Diablo-like, or whatever you want to call it.
Can I add something here? Because all of those things are true, but there'll be... I personally won't get heavily into it until they fix the desync issue, which is coming in the next patch.
Yes, they have, which is also worth mentioning.
It's only live in the beta right now. It's
if you have played Path of Exile in the past, you might want to give it another go in
definitely.
late next month or something.
I think
they're releasing the next act and the big
I've heard
expansion.
October or November.
Oh shit! Oh, you might even be in autumn,
don't say that. You'll kill New Year if he finds out that it's been pushed back any longer.
No. It's supposed to come out like next month, because New Year said like, oh, it's right when my vacation starts.
Yeah, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
No, but yeah, then they also fixed the desync issue, which has been a big thing.
Yeah,
where
because if
kept
you play
like
hardcore,
rubber banded back and shit like that into enemies that kill you, and then you lose your hardcore character.
And it's not just another act being made. They've made massive rebalances, added completely new mechanics.
And they improved the skill tree as well, which is already impressive.
Yeah, it's basically the jump from Diablo 2 to Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction in this expansion. It feels like there's a lot of changes and fixes and new stuff.
One of the things...
It's not the recommendation I'm bringing to the table, but I recommend it as well.
Yeah, it's the same.
I'm only...
So,
I just want to bring up the one thing I'm most excited for. I'm playing the beta, but I'm only like in Act 1 because I didn't get any further, then it wiped and I'm working up again. They've added slots in your skill tree where you can find items that drop jewels that then have effects on your skill tree.
Yeah,
for example,
that's really cool.
Oh, you guys are familiar with it. For those who aren't,
yes, but keep talking.
Basically, you slot it into your skill tree, and one might have they have a radius, and one might have you get plus 1% life for every node you haven't picked within the radius, or you get 1% extra damage with claws for every dexterity node you've picked within the radius and so on.
Yeah, it offers more customization to a game that's already got a ton of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the attractive factors about Path of Exile. So the fact they're expanding on it is even better.
For people who don't know how Path of Exile works, like the skill system, like there are classes, but they all have the same skills. Instead of picking skills from like a skill tree, you get drops in the world, like gems, which you put in your gear, and then you get that skill.
Final Fantasy VII style.
Yes, like with the materia. Was that 8? I don't even know.
No, that was
but
was 7,
like with
exactly.
the materia is kind of how it works. Yeah, and then Final Fantasy X, I want to say, has like a similar skill tree where it's like branching and huge, and you can like change your character.
It's very opt. I've heard it used a lot. People saying Path of Exile doesn't have a skill tree; it has a skill jungle.
Yeah, skill forest. Yeah.
Or web, I think is what they actually call it, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, it's all right. Definitely agree with that recommendation. Fateweaver, what have you brought to the table for our listeners?
Well, as apt as it is, Tabletop Simulator.
Yay! That's a really good one.
It's a really good one.
Fateweaver, what is Tabletop Simulator?
Tabletop Simulator is the #1 world premiere flipping the table and swearing at your friends simulator. It's absolutely fantastic.
It is innovative and groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Might I add.
It is. All the buzzwords. Every buzzword you could take out of a Microsoft concert? Oh god, that'd be awful. Could you imagine?
I would watch a stream of the Microsoft.
Kinect sucks. Xbox has no games.
No, I'm thinking like
Tom Clancy.
No, it would obviously be Microsoft Sam on lead vocals.
Oh yeah.
That'd be great.
The ruffle.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I would watch a stream of a Microsoft concert.
Yeah,
isn't it like Hatsune Miku? Like that is like the development of Microsoft Sam, surely.
What, Miku?
Like Vocaloids, yeah.
Vocaloids, man. Vocaloids. What is it? 2010. It's all about that other one Lewisham likes.
Huh?
There's a new one.
There's a new Vocaloid.
Yeah. What is it? It's like a band or some crap like that. I've forgotten what it's called.
Gorillas.
Oh, God,
there were like 2D pictures that made music, right?
No, I've forgotten what it's called. Lewisham's obsessed with it.
I don't fucking know. Angel Beats, but that's not...
No, not Angel Beats.
Yeah.
No, but it's like the whole Vocaloid thing. It involves singing, but it's a whole band or some crap like that. I don't even know.
I don't even know either.
Whatever. I'm sure he'll tell us.
What were we talking about? Yes, Tabletop
Simulator. Oh god, leave it up to that Lewis to distract into some sort of anime discussion.
He's not even here, and he's still distracting us.
Damn it! Could have been talking about Jurassic Park. Anyway, Tabletop Simulator.
Does it have dinosaurs?
The wonderful thing about Tabletop Simulator is you can play any card game that you want because everybody has made all those card games that you want. Even the really obscure ones, you just go into the Steam Workshop, you type it in the search bar, chances are somebody has uploaded the cards for whatever card game you want. And you just play it with your friends, and there's a dedicated flip table.
It's worth saying that Tabletop Simulator is basically just a physics engine where you have multiplayer, like real-time object manipulation.
Yeah.
But then people add boards and cards and such to it, so you can actually play Monopoly or you can play Magic and stuff like that.
Isn't that though? I have to be like the devil's advocate here and ask: isn't that a huge copyright can of worms?
Yes,
it
definitely is.
This is sort of like why I'm recommending it is because if you wait too long, I get the feeling there's probably going to be nothing on there. But if you go, if you play it now, there's still everything on there because has it released yet officially?
Yeah, I think it's still somewhat in early access, but they did make an announcement recently that they've gone into contracts with Fantasy Flight and Wizards, I think, so they're actually going to release DLC,
which is
like
fantastic.
Proper versions of, like Eldritch Horror and those kind of games.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But
it's
sure. Sooner or later, people are going to want to pull some of them off it, or come to some sort of agreement, which is what I'd prefer. But right now, there's just pretty much every single card game that you can imagine is on there.
Yep.
It's really, really good.
Even
some new ones which I'd never heard of. Me and Dope and a couple of others. I think Dustbin was one of them. We played the Sheriff of Nottingham game.
Oh yeah, that was really fun.
Which is just entirely about bluffing.
Yep.
Basically, you're supposed to put goods in a bag and then tell the sheriff what's in there. But you put contraband in there and tell the sheriff that there's no contraband. And it's basically just arguing the toss over what's in the bag. And
what's in the box?
Well, we all ended up putting on silly voices, pretending to be villagers and stuff like that, trying to convince it. And it was just, it was such a simple thing that I'd never heard of before. But we just picked it up on a whim, because why the hell not? Because it was just sitting there on the Steam Workshop, gave it a go, and it was hilarious.
Yep,
and
exactly.
You really wouldn't think so, but it's a really great way to get friends together and just flip tables. It's great.
Yeah,
if you ever wanted to play more board games,
for an unknown game to maybe get a little exposure.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, with the whole how easy it is to just put your cards up there and put it on the workshop, and it is significantly easier than most to get noticed. Yeah, it really is a great launch platform if you're looking to start your own card game.
Can I say I might be controversial here, but might this actually be something in favor of paid mods? Because then, if you made a board game, you could actually put it in the Steam Workshop and put it up as a paid mod. And actually kind of make
I can't
DLC
dispute
like
that. I can't dispute that because I agree.
I think that is actually one of the few games where like the Skyrim mods they pulled would actually work really well for the Steam Workshop stuff to have paid mods.
Yeah, because it's entire content, isn't it? It's not just an expansion on existing one.
No,
exactly.
It's a game. You put a game into the simulator.
Yes, this is true. I really can't fault that, Anderson. That's a very, very good point.
You are very smart.
Yeah, well done.
Wow,
Can I just make
said something that you guys couldn't refute. I need to note this down in my calendar.
Take a picture so you'll remember this moment.
But first, let me
June, it finally happened. It was card games.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a side recommendation, not my actual recommendation, but since we're talking about tabletops, there is a card game called Love Letter, which is excellent.
We haven't played that.
You have not played it? Oh, you need to play this. It's super simple. It's basically you have a single card in your hand, and it's up to the others to guess what card you have, and then all the cards have different effects. You play them, and you draw a new card. The conceit of the game is basically you're trying to deliver your love letter to the princess without getting found out.
Man, we built this up so well, and you're just burying it. You're just destroying it here with waifu shit. I hope you know.
No. It isn't waifu shit at all. It's really simple, really elegant game of bluffing and logic, and you should try it. It's a 4-player game. It's very, very fun.
I reckon I'll try that.
Yeah,
because
definitely
you
should.
can,
I mean,
you can
I'll be
do
able to play
anything
some more
and
of
it
it.
turns
but-
I back that recommendation. It is a really good game. Very simple, very elegant.
Yes.
It's
Alright.
Fateweaver. I know you've tried it. It's probably Dominion tier in its elegance, but simpler.
Really? Okay. I do love me some Dominion.
Oh boy, that is the game.
Yeah, I wish I'd recommended
I
that.
still
now.
haven't played it properly. I played it 1v1 and it was quite fun.
And I had
actually
5
tried
people from
properly.
Dopelives in my house playing Dominion at one point.
Yeah. Alright, well, for my recommendation, this week I'm going to recommend a TV show known as Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Oh yes.
It is a political commentary and satire humor kind of show. It's basically like Jon Stewart's
Daily Show?
Daily Show.
Yeah, I
that's
was
the
wondering
one.
if it was like the Daily Show.
It's pretty much like the Daily Show, yes, but it's more sort of produced and more written because it's only on once a week on Sundays.
Also, it's he takes one topic and kind of does a terrain,
Yeah.
and he doesn't have guests on in the same way that in the Daily
Yeah,
Show
yeah,
they
yeah.
have this debate.
It's not like a talk show in that way. It's but yeah, it's still similar to those other sort of late night shows. But it's really, really good. I really like it. The humor is great, and as Anderson said, he does like a topic per week, like a report on it. So he's been talking about like the situation in Israel, like fucking student loans and like
Student
E3.
loans being a hot topic in Israel right now?
no, it's student loans in America. It's different topics every week, and it's very interesting. His politics are usually a bit too left for me, but the humor and everything makes it just really fun.
I love when he had what's the name of that guy, the whistleblower guy.
Oh yeah. That's if you're only gonna watch one episode, you gotta watch the one with Edward Snowden.
Yeah, he
Well,
actually
they actually managed to get him on
he
it.
actually goes
Yeah.
to Russia and interviews him,
Yeah.
Wow.
And the entire
and he just
point,
takes the piss.
the entire point of it, he just takes the piss so much. Like, I know I should change my password, but I'm not gonna do that. It's not a lot of effort, but it still seems like
And
it.
then
So.
then they kind of segue into explaining how the U.S. government monitors its citizens by talking about how the U.S. government can access John Oliver's dick pics when he sends them to people.
Well, I suppose it's a relatable way of expressing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's kind of he
that's
takes
exactly
the piss,
point.
but they also make some actual points. It's really good.
Anyway, yeah, that's definitely recommended. It's in the second season right now. I think it's towards the end of the second season, but I'll be eager to watch it again once it starts back up
And
for a third
if
season.
nothing else, it's a really good candidate for YouTube binges.
Yes. They do upload quite a lot themselves on YouTube, but there's also other people who just upload clips, and it's very, very, very watchable, very funny for the most part.
I've only recently actually gotten into watching dedicated channels of YouTubers. I mean, I know it's funny because in 2012 I found you guys, but I never really did it. But recently I found Ashens
Oh yeah,
and his unboxing stuff, and
Yeah.
it's hilarious. It's
yeah.
absolutely
Ashens
hilarious.
is great.
Yeah.
I fucking love that guy.
I think the only YouTuber I watch is what's it called? The guy who does the board game thing. Dope, you were the guy who put me up to it.
Will Wheaton?
No, he does board
Will
game
Wheaton.
reviews and video game
Where do I
stuff.
begin?
Oh, Spoonie?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Spoonie!
Spoonie's fucking great. I love Spoonie.
I've actually watched hardly any Spoonie.
You should watch his.
I know everybody
Ultima-
says it. Everyone
Ultima
says you should
reviews.
watch it. Why aren't you watching it? He does things like you do, and it's just like what?
We've-
Dick over everyone?
Are you an Ultima guy?
No.
Okay,
That's a shame.
because he does this kind of thing where he basically reviews all the Ultima games in turn.
Oh well, I don't
And
envy
it's-
him that because there's a reason why I'm not an Ultima guy.
The thing is, he is an Ultima guy. He grew up with Ultima, and it's kind of interesting to hear his slightly more adult take on how good the games actually were.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
and
I
my favorite
found
part
it
of that
interesting.
entire
I've never
series.
played Ultima.
Same. My favorite part of that entire series is basically the entire point of it is that EA ruined Ultima.
Well,
Because
EA
they-
ruined everything, didn't it?
That's true.
I mean, if I could get a million hits on a video just for complaining about EA, then I'd do it as well. But it seems a bit easy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
God, EA
All right,
really have ruined everything.
Let's move on to our topics for this podcast. The first topic is moving, something that I believe Fateweaver has quite a lot of experience with. I decided to include it because I am soon to move.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah, you are, aren't you?
Yeah.
I will enjoy the forms.
I will be experiencing Fateweaver's personal hell.
Yes, because if I remember rightly, they lost your house. And I understand. It's amazing, isn't it? Like, there is no such thing as a competent estate agent.
Yeah.
It just isn't.
Wait, they lost his house? You gotta give me the story.
They lost his house, yeah.
You gotta give me the story.
Well, I'd been looking at the places online, and it's like, alright, this looks good. I put down a note of interest, is how this thing works. It's like a queue system. I get into the top 5, and we go take a look at it. It's really nice. So I decide I want to put another note of interest down. I want this place, so put me on the list. And then a week later, when all of that is done, I get a text message like, "Hey, you have successfully become the top candidate to this place. So just come into the office and sign the contract, and the place is yours." And during this, I've also
if only it were that simple.
Yeah, during this, I've also been looking at other houses in the same area. So anyway, we go in and are basically going to talk to them about the contract and everything. And they offer, the wrong house. Because apparently they decided to just change it to one of the other houses in the area without informing me.
Because you wouldn't notice. I mean, you know, if they switch out a house for an entirely different house, I mean, it's not like you're going to notice at all. What if it being in a completely different location and, being a different house?
See,
pretty much.
It's funny. It's almost 3 years ago since I moved here, and you just said, Fateweaver, if only it were that easy. That's exactly how it went with me. It was that easy. I signed up for an apartment. They told me I got the apartment. I went down. I signed the papers. I had the apartment.
Wow.
Christ.
God. What's it like in a utopian society?
I don't know. I live in the same country as Niv and Meat Cleaver. It's no utopia here.
That's true.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I basically ended up getting the wrong apartment. Yeah. But it's still alright. It's the same area and everything, so I'm moving in August.
When is Housemoving?
Party. Yep.
August.
Let's play Dominion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I have moved a lot in my life.
More than anyone I know.
I seem to have seen every time since you came to Dopelives, you have been in a perpetual state of moving, or about to move, or just settling in after moving.
Yeah,
which you are now, right? You're still just settling in after having just moved.
That's right. Yeah, I've been in this place for 2 months now.
So what's wrong with you? Why are you forced to move so much?
It's mostly because the UK is shite.
It's mostly because of the collapse of the empire.
It's mostly because of the collapse of the empire, yeah. I can't move freely between all these countries that I used to own, but apparently I don't anymore. No, it's...
I love that some people actually feel that way.
Yeah, more than we're allowed to admit. But basically, I've moved pretty much every 6 months for the last 10 years. And, because keep in mind I'm 30, so it's not actually as bad as you might think. Well, 25, I've been moving every 6 months since I was 15. But in actual fact, I moved quite a lot at the end of my school as well. So I've really been... my life, my adult life, has essentially been constantly moving houses. And never once has it ever been easy. Because forms go missing. It's usually about forms. I get given a form, fill in a form, send it off. I get told by an outsourced company that they've not received the form and it's all my fault. And then you have to chase the form and you realise they've written the details wrong.
Yeah.
Like things like saying your email is incorrect and me using one which is my name.
Yeah.
And them addressing me in the same thing with my name and saying it's wrong and it's spelt wrong with one letter and it's just like my name is literally right in front of you. You're typing it out, you idiot.
Yeah,
It's just really slight annoyances that really make me have to make a cup of tea.
I guess the elephant in the room now is the place you're in now. Are you gonna stay?
I hope so. I've actually, because I pretty much I got here and I realised this place is really nice. The area is really good for me. I'm living on a beach town.
What the fuck is a beach town?
It's a town on a beach.
Okay, fair enough.
But it's really nice, It's it's a pleasure beach kind of thing. It's got.
That sounds like it should be super expensive.
It also sounds way lewder than it probably is.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Like,
every time I say, "Oh, it's a pleasure beach," it's like, well, here is the whipping section. And over there is the arcade where you can play Time Crisis and get your bottom spanked. But it's great. And I'm finally sort of like calming down, trying to figure out how the hell does somebody actually settle, So hopefully I'll be here for a while, and by a while I mean at least 3 years.
So why did you move out from the last place?
It was really bad for me. It was kind of killing me, honestly. Right. The situation in London was so stressful and so financially crippling. My rent was £1,270 per month for a one-bedroom flat.
What? Wait, £1,200?
Yeah, for a month for a one-bedroom flat.
So you were living in central London then?
It's just slightly out of it.
Jesus,
that is insane.
It was West London.
Yeah, all right.
Which anybody in London would say, oh, that's the expensive bit, but it's not, because they're gentrifying the whole of East London as well. So it's
fair enough.
It's just crazy, and the stress of it all was making me, because I mean, you guys know I've got a mental condition, but basically it was just completely out of control. It was crippling me.
Fair enough.
And we just had to get me the hell out of there, so we moved all the way to a nice, peaceful beach town.
All right. So you couldn't see this coming when you moved there? Because that seems like a a short-sighted decision to move into a fucking £1,200 per month apartment and not realize that you're going to get fucked by it.
Well, you've got to do what you've got to do. I mean,
fair enough.
Tanzankat, and to people who don't know, Tanzankat is my significant other. She was going to university in London.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't very well say, well, you can't go to university, because that would
make me...
That would mean me...
Many men before you
I suppose I could, but one of two things would happen. She'd hiss and scratch me. And... the other thing is I'd be a massive dick, and I'm not like that, To people that don't know, Tanzan is 6 years younger than me. So what that sometimes gets a bit awkward in that I've done the university thing and come out of it, but at the same time she was going into it. So I can't very well say, oh, I've done all of my stuff, now you can't do yours, because it's just not fair. So, as part of the break. But we had to go into London. We thought it would be fine. Financially, it looked like we were going to be quite stable. There was grants for her courses and all of that. But then when she got there, about 6 months later, a lot of things went to shit. Finances got pulled, and we ended up in the crapper, trying to move to increasingly more tiny, pokey, and expensive places over the space of about a year and a half. At which point we left, and now we're here.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Cue sad violin.
So you live in Wales now, is it?
Yes, I'm in Wales, which I recommend to all English people. It's not as bad as we've always taken the piss out of them for.
But it's a bit crowded, right, with all the sheep around?
Yeah, no, that's the one, innit? That's the joke. Do you know the origin of that?
No?
The whole Welsh sheep banging thing.
Because there are a lot of sheep bangers in Wales?
No,
no, I don't know where it stems from.
Back when we conquered it, and I will be very firm on that one, because so many countries seem to have forgotten that. The penalty for stealing a sheep was significantly worse than the penalty for banging a sheep. So the smart Welsh,
I see where this is going.
when they got caught with a sheep, were just saying, "Oh, I was having sex with it." And the penalty was a lot less harsh. So in actual fact, it's really clever, like when you're out of it, it's just like, oh, well, on the short term that was a good idea, but on the long term, you're Welsh sheep shagger. But in actual fact, it was really clever.
So when you're taking the pish out of a Welshman for being a sheep shagger, you're actually acknowledging that he comes from a history of cleverness.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, 'cause
actually,
it is
the
a
Welsh
genuine
should take
clever bastard
pride
thing
in
to do.
being called sheepshaggers.
But the question
Yes.
is, did they only have to say it, or were they, when they got caught, did they have to quickly stick their dick inside
No, I'm
it?
having sex with it.
Well,
Prove it.
Let me
yeah,
prove it.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing I'd say to that is there's got to be a reason why the reputation is stuck.
Well, once it becomes societally acceptable, like Freddy down the street did it, so at least that's what he says. I guess I'll give it a try. Alright,
This conversation took a turn, didn't it?
Since we're on the topic, did you guys know that what's it called? Zoophilia, bestiality,
bestiality?
only
Yeah.
just became illegal in Denmark.
How terrible.
Yeah, I know, but there's nothing we can do about it now. It's already become illegal.
Yeah, I mean, that is literally what I mean. That it is terrible.
To each their own.
Before the law was you
long as
couldn't,
the- as long
you
as
couldn't
the dog
abuse animals.
consents.
The animals couldn't suffer. But other than
Yeah.
that, having sex with an animal was perfectly fine.
I think it's super hypocritical that we can, we can skin animals, we can steal their children,
We can
eat them, we can
inseminate
slaughter
them.
them.
That's perfect.
But we can't
We
bang
can
them?
forcefully make them pregnant. We can stick our hands up their ass to see if their pregnancy is working.
Yeah, but again, these things have been banned.
No, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think there's some weird sort of societal thing about sex, but honestly, I think this is a topic for another podcast.
Yeah, I just wanted to
this is
throw it in
something
since we were
actually-
talking about it.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, moving along swiftly from that, I wish to talk about webcam while streaming.
Webcams?
Yes,
Okay.
webcams.
All right.
Because it is really a big thing now. It didn't used to be, but nowadays,
It is
when
the
you stream
thing.
games, you're supposed to, in quotes, have a webcam.
Yeah,
to-
it's expected of you.
Yeah, that has sort of become the norm.
I've stopped.
And you've stopped doing it,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've only done it once, and that was an adventure.
I've
There is
done
a
it few
twerking
times.
video on YouTube of it,
Yeah, I've done it a few times, but obviously it's not a thing I do
I have to,
consistently.
I want to
at all.
ask because I'm legitimately curious. Have you ever done it sober?
No.
Didn't think so.
But do you guys prefer to watch streams with or without webcams in general?
I think context is important because I was going to say that horror games are better with a webcam for the reaction, but your Monstrum streams recently, I didn't need to see your face to
No.
really enjoy the
realise
sheer panic
how
and horror
fucked
in your voice.
Yeah.
So I will say, what I will say instead is, I think if you don't have as much of an entertaining voice as, say, Dope does, with his screaming and screeching and generally behaving like a teenage girl, I think if you don't have that sort of personality in your voice, a webcam will really make that up.
I feel like it's much easier to build the relationship with the streamer or on YouTube videos or whatever when you can see the person talking.
Yeah, it's
It makes it more
kind of more
personable
personal,
in some way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, I suppose I see where you're coming from, but again, bringing it back to you and the guys at Dopelives.com, quality streams. Anyway, there's that plug.
More gooder than your
I mean,
mom's
I
stream.
hadn't seen any of your faces.
Yeah. But
But
back then, like in
and I get on
2012,
with
it still wasn't like expected to do webcam streams.
Yeah, but even now, like if
Yeah.
if the stream's going on and I talk to you, you'll talk back.
Yeah, yeah,
and
of
I
course.
can get into a rapport with you. I don't need to see your face from that. All that will happen is if I see your face addressing me, then I'll think I'm distracting from the game.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so.
I
but
have
on the other hand, you got things like Caseytron and stuff like that. And yes, I'm
Caseytron
I'm
makes
mentioning
another
that.
appearance in the Dopecast.
Where the majority of her stream, the entertainment comes from her personal relationship with the people in her Twitch
Yeah,
chat. and
you
stuff
don't
like
watch
that. And-
Caseytron to watch a game. You watch Caseytron to watch Caseytron.
Yeah, exactly. So I suppose it's sort of, it's more of a case of how are you presenting your stream.
I have
You
to
know,
make this
if
point
you're-
again because I know from
Yeah.
previous conversations you're a little bit into pro wrestling. You know the terminology and so.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
wouldn't you agree that Caseytron puts on a brilliant heel act?
Yeah. She's amazing at what she does. She really is.
Yep.
And is
She's
probably
one of the best heels
best
I've ever
actors
seen.
I've seen on Twitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something really I mean, and that's another thing about it. Like, if you go there for your jollies, then she entertains you. If you go there to have a good lesson on how to manipulate a social situation to your advantage, then you're in luck as well, because you only need to watch that as well, because she's quite the genius at it. But anyway, tangent aside, what I was saying before is I think the benefits of a webcam largely depend on how you're trying to convey yourself.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think we're dancing around the issue here of basically certain female streamers who behave like Caseytron but aren't doing it satirically. And honestly, I think that's fine as well, as long as you recognize what you are and what you're doing.
Well, again, it's using it depending on how you present yourself. If your intention is to just give teenage boys jollies, you know, then you're doing it and you're using it for the right reason. But if you're doing that and what you're actually trying to do is play League of Legends, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, especially if you block half the screen with your webcam, which is terrible. I can't watch like streams where the webcam isn't handled properly.
That's the borderline.
It's got to be a nice overlay that doesn't actually block the game. Otherwise, it's just remove that shit.
At that point, the original intention is gone and it's used as an excuse.
Yeah.
You know?
But since we're talking about Caseytron, another very famous example of somebody who uses Facecam is PewDiePie, which is the biggest, famousest video game streamer,
video gamer,
let's player, whatever, video game anything on the internet. Do you think he would have gotten even nearly the same amount of viewership if he didn't do the webcam? Because he really plays into it as well with the bow fist and like his faces and all that stuff.
It's fair to compare. It's going to sound quite funny, but it's fair to compare PewDiePie to Caseytron. It's somebody who realised that they had a tool, and could do certain things with their face and or body that got a rise out of people, and then realised, oh, hang on, I can actually do this and turn it into something really good for me. And then did it, and they essentially provide that entertaining service by getting there first and being the most successful of it. You know?
Mm-hmm. Because PewDiePie, he did Let's Plays without webcam for a long time. And then started doing webcam, and his popularity just took off. There's a video of
him playing Portal with you in the archives, isn't there? But you know, and there's no face cams on that. It's just if I was in his situation, I realised that, hang on, I put a webcam up and people think I'm really funny, then why wouldn't you leave it up, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So, basically, bottom line, we're all streamers here. Would you guys consider using a webcam? Like, is it something that you maybe want to do?
I honestly prefer
Anderson's
it.
Done it. Yeah. Do you?
Yes, I do. The other, you said that watching it can easily get more personal. I actually feel somehow more personally connected to the viewer, knowing that they can see me, knowing that with my facial movements, my reactions, I'm also imparting that to the viewer.
Yeah, that's true.
So it actually enhances my experience as a streamer.
That's actually a interesting point. Sometimes when I stream, I'll like a first-person game, I'll move the mouse in a way to sort of try to convey emotion, like shake it when I'm angry or scared.
Move your mouth away from the mic to breathe.
But I mean, like to sort of somehow give a feedback to non-verbal cues or whatever. Like I don't know, like nod it along with the music or something like that. Stuff like that you wouldn't need to do if you had a camera on you, obviously, because you could just do it in person.
I also think maybe it requires more of you, because suddenly you have, facial movements and body language in there, so now you also have to be aware of that. Just as
Sorry, was that the sheep escaping out the back?
that was my phone ringing. Sorry, I'll put it on silent.
When you're just streaming verbally, you have to be mindful of your voice. You have to, not slur and speak properly. And suddenly, if your face is on there, if your body language is on there, you have to use that as well. Otherwise, there's no point.
Yeah.
Well, the only experience I've really got of it is during the 24-hour charity stream I did. And from that, I can honestly say a few things. It was a significant advantage because for that thing, it acted as a great incentive for me to make a fool of myself, which people loved. And for that purpose, there was nothing better than having a webcam on, So, but that wasn't I don't know actually if that was more about personal connectivity with people watching the charity stream, or if it was just a case of everybody wanted me to twerk on stream. But there's no doubt at all that stream significantly benefited from the webcam. On the other hand, you're definitely right in that it requires more of a sort of conscious effort to remember that you're on a webcam. That's not necessarily for entertainment purposes, and I'm going to put this out there right now. In one of the Mario Party things, I picked my nose at one point. And I saw that and I was like, oh, fuck. Because at the point I'd forgotten I was on there, and I picked my nose at one point.
Worst part about using a cam when streaming, I've done it quite a bit. I had a period where I only streamed with a cam on. And I have to say, worst part is I have to put on pants to stream.
Yeah.
And since Fateweaver, you're British, I have to say, when I say pants, I do in fact mean trousers.
Well, I did wonder. I've seen you drink and go on webcam a couple of times, Anderson. I did have to wonder for a second. I got to admit.
Let's not bring up those streams. Those streams are gone and buried in the archives.
Well, there is another thing though, isn't it? If you're having that personal connectivity with the people that are watching you, if you're hitting on particularly shit days, it comes across and everyone can see that.
Yeah.
And that is a potential peril of using webcams, you know?
Good point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in the 24-hour stream you did, it was part of the enjoyment, for me at least, was to watch you deteriorate.
Oh, great, thanks.
You got super tired, and
that's really
sort of put
that's really the draw
yourself a little bit.
That's really the draw of any 24-hour stream.
Yeah, that's true. But you could see him physically sort of slump down, get like bags under his eyes, and be less animated over time.
I did all right.
Yeah, no, you did great.
This is mostly because I had an excuse.
We raised so much fucking money.
Yeah, $5,000.
Yeah,
I still can't get over that.
It's a pound sterling as well.
$5,000. That's insane.
Yeah, for our little
like
shitty podunk community,
€20,000
it's
or something. It's enough to bail out Greece.
Pay debts. Pay debts.
Pay debts. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I've been saying that too often lately. Yeah. Just pay debts everywhere.
All right. Well, I think we've somewhat exhausted this topic. Let us move on to the next one.
Yeah, because last time we were talking about basically what are you hyped for of the coming E3? What are you hoping they'll talk about? Now,
I get the podcast after E3.
Now E3's been and gone. So now I want to talk about what actually happened at E3 that you're hype about.
Wow. I got lucky because I got the E3 one. Well, one of the reasons why I like E3 so
There's just silence, just crickets. What are you excited about? And then just silence.
Now this is the interesting thing because there's crickets and there's silence because I actually have choice.
Ooh.
Oh!
And this is the difficult part because this is something which is unknown to me at the end of an E3. But like one of the reasons why I like E3 so much is Microsoft do this great presentation as best as they can, and 6 hours later they get blown out of the water every year.
Yeah.
Not even by better stuff, usually by better PR.
Yeah. Oh god, was it Microsoft and last year I think when they announced what the fuck was it? Something about discs, like you couldn't borrow your discs to your friends or something.
That's
like
right,
that.
yeah.
And then Sony announces in their press conference, like, you can loan your games out, no problem.
Yeah,
There's
we'll never
no
do that to
shit.
you. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Sony senpai, hold me.
Yeah.
and that's probably the biggest reason why I like E3 is just seeing how Sony will twist the knife.
Mm.
But there was lots of stuff in this E3 that I was really looking forward to. There's this the Microsoft presentation actually had this pirate game by Rare, and that shocked me because Rare have been. Everybody knows Rare is dead.
Yes.
It's a very sad thing. It's one of the few times that EA hasn't managed to kill something because somebody else got there first.
Just because somebody else got the knife in first.
Yeah, exactly. But they've been I think they've been doing mobile shit for like the last God knows how many years.
Ever since they ruined Banjo-Kazooie, they've been
but
doing
this
nothing, pretty much.
was a game. This was a video game by Rare. You know, this was an actual Rare-looking video game.
I'm gonna have to put scare quotes around Rare, to be honest.
Well,
I'm not sure any of the original team is still there.
Yeah, well,
still looked fun.
the fact of the matter is, it didn't look like a shitty mobile game.
Yeah,
it looked like an online pirate game, and every single one of those that have come out that I've played in the past have been fantastic. Puzzle Pirates is great. Pirates of the Burning Sea also great, but for some reason it's not really touched upon. I think that's just because people would rather do zombie games.
Yeah, that's true.
But this actually looked really great, and it looked like it had the sort of rare attitude to it. And I'm genuinely looking forward to that, especially since I found out it's coming out on PC as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, obviously, I'm never going to buy an Xbone.
Yeah, you're going to buy yourself an Xbone to play a rare game?
Well, the thing is, I only ever had one reason to buy an Xbone, and that was for Killer Instinct. Because I played Killer Instinct obsessively. And so did Vale, my sister. She played Killer Instinct obsessively. But it was an Xbox exclusive. Now we found out that's coming to PC as well, and I'm ecstatic.
I hadn't heard that. I am suddenly feeling hype.
I know, right? The thing is, and it's really strange, is that the Killer Instinct, the new version of it, is actually as faithful as a new game can be to the original.
Yeah.
And that's a shock, because Street Fighter has, in my opinion, plummeted over 4. So controversial, I know, but
you spent a good chunk of last
Bitch, who even gives a shit about 4? It's all about 5.
Yeah, it's true.
5 looks better. 5 genuinely looks better, but the whole trigger thing, it's bordering on the whole ultra problem.
I watched a tournament of it. They held like a small tournament at EVO, and it looks amazing. It is so intense.
And also Chun-Li's tits.
Just when in doubt. What about Hakan's tits?
I hope he comes out for 5.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm so sad the direction
they went
with
character I've ever seen.
With the design for Hakan. Because, I mean, look at the character. If they hadn't made him bright red for some inane reason...
He's Turkish! What other fucking color would you make him?
Yeah,
from all the oil.
If they'd given him a Turkish skin color, he would just have looked like...
They did!
An absolute badass.
Have you seen a Turk? They're all bright red. It's like
true.
Neon pink.
It's true.
Dope, I'm amazed you have the guts to say that, considering you live in Sweden.
I always thought it was Belarus.
I mean, there are more Turks around you than if you lived in Istanbul.
It's true.
That's Constantinople. Anyway,
Bazinga.
Bazinga.
I apologize. No. I apologize for my remarks.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
Bless you.
More
that was
epic
one
memories.
thing. The Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yes,
I think is a bit obvious.
I can't believe it's taken them this long.
Final Fantasy VII is shit. Final Fantasy is just a hype train kind of thing. It's like, yes, but there are actually people out there who were old enough to remember when it came out and played it when it came out.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, they're mostly my age. So it's really cool.
They're not 30. Jesus. You don't have to be 30 to remember Final Fantasy.
When it came out, it's old. It's coming up to its 20th anniversary.
If you're talking about, like, fucking original...
Yeah, Final Fantasy VII, when it was released. This is what I'm talking about.
Was it released in, like, 97 or something?
It's coming up to its 20th year.
Ah, I don't know. Alright, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, 97, yeah.
Dope, you have to realize that 97 was 18 years ago. I know it's scary.
It's a long time.
It's true enough. I remember when Final Fantasy came out.
By the way,
although I guess I was a kid.
I have to float this because a lot of people. Am I the only one experiencing that this particular year, 2015, is going by so much faster than every other year before it?
No.
Yeah, I think that.
I agree. But maybe it's because I'm getting older and everything is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, but gradually years go by faster, sure, but this is like a huge leap. I mean, for God's sake, it was just January a few days ago.
Global warming.
It was the 90s a few days ago in my mind. 1990 will always be 10 years ago.
It was like old men, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, remember 5 years ago when Friends started?
There's not been anything good since Friends was cancelled.
Society's fallen into decline.
Friends are still relevant. Give Rachel and Joey.
No streams for old men.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, God.
Back to E3 hype.
Yeah, so obviously there's Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is very good.
Mm-hmm.
And also they trolled everybody absolutely magnificently, because everybody has been waiting for this remake.
Yep.
And
I'm so surprised
last year
happened.
they were like, here is Square, and they're like, Final Fantasy VII logo, and it's just like, PC port.
Yeah.
and you could just hear the collective despair in everybody in that audience of, why have you done this to us, you know? And all those hearts were broken. And as it turns out, they did it just simply because that way nobody would be trying to find out if there actually was a remake this year.
Smoke
And
screen.
that when they tell everyone, it was sort of like they offered you a cake, slapped you when you tried to take the cake, and then gave you a bigger cake. You know?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's a great analogy.
That's how it went.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And in fact, if you are a Squeenix like fanboy or fangirl, then you're kind of in luck, because like Final Fantasy 15's coming out. They've got Kingdom Hearts 3. There's that World of Final Fantasy thing, which is like a chibi Final Fantasy nonsense.
World of Final Fantasy sounds like a theme.
Kingdom Hearts 3, or as in it's gone free?
No, Kingdom Hearts 3 is in the number.
Oh, okay.
But there's been like 14 Kingdom Hearts games. Are they all these spin-offs?
Well,
there's like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, all right. How many
60
Street Fighter
days
games
and
have
shit
there
like that.
been for them to get to 5?
It's fair point.
I think
Fair
there's
point.
been 4 Street Fighter 4s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Street Fighter Alpha X free, Turbo free,
Yeah.
free.
And I know there were 3 Street Fighter 3, and I think there were 3 Street Fighter Alpha.
Oh, Turbo. I forgot the word Turbo.
And there was at least 4 Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't forget the arcade versions of those as well, and then they were on the Mega Drive and the SNES.
Yeah.
That's
So, Capcom.
but yeah, all right. So, Final Fantasy. Anything else that stood out?
Well, because that was pretty much the entirety of the E3 presentation, was just like Final Fantasy. The Last Guardian.
Oh yeah, that's been
that's
revived
shock.
or something.
The Last Guardian, which everybody who has been waiting for it has been waiting for a long time about.
Yeah, I assumed it was cancelled because
I think everybody thought it was cancelled, but then it's a bit like the Final Fantasy remake, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Everybody got told one thing, and then suddenly it's happened.
Yeah.
I have to
people
say,
are caught with
I
their
have
pants
been
down.
vigorously unhyped for Fallout since I played a few hours of Fallout 3 years ago, and from that point of view, as we discussed, I think it was on the previous show, I think Fallout 4 looks really good. I'm actually looking forward to it, and
This is
unlike what I said last time, that I was probably going to pick it up when it was on sale, like I did with Skyrim, throw €5 at it.
Yeah.
I might actually pick it up a bit sooner, because it looks really good and really fun.
It's kind of funny because I'm the exact opposite right now. I've become unhyped for Fallout 4 because it looks kind of bad.
all I can say on the subject is that I have never not got my money's worth on a Bethesda game.
It's true enough.
So make of that what you will.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I've
I
always
was the one
felt like
hyping
I've got
Fallout
the time
4.
back, you know.
I'm hyped for E3
mods.
2017.
I'm hyped for Eurovision 2016.
Well, the thing is,
Can't come soon
CJ Projekt Red has said that they are not prepared to talk anymore about Cyberpunk 2077 until 2017. So I'm
See, I thought that got
definitely
cancelled as well.
expecting something from them at E3 2017.
Alright. So let's talk about the most important announcement. This, of course, EA's Star Wars: The Old Republic: Knights of the Fallen Empire.
What? Battlefield what?
No. Star Wars: The Old Republic, their MMO, is getting a new expansion.
Oh, that's still around, is it?
Aren't you hyped for it?
Is this the one where they cock up the Jedi system?
Yes.
Because that's happened already. Oh, wow, really? They're actually still flogging that horse.
I didn't think anyone was playing it, but apparently...
No, I
yes.
honestly thought it had been shut down. Genuinely thought it had been closed
You
down.
know what has been closed down? And I'm going to make you sad now. Warhammer Age of Reckoning.
Yeah, that was some time ago. They'll pick it back up. Someone will.
Hopefully, because that was fucking brilliant. I love that.
Speaking of
City of
Warhammer-
Heroes is getting a revival.
What is?
Huh?
City of Heroes.
Really?
What?
Again?
Yes, it's getting a revival.
Oh!
In the form
Old
of
one
something,
or the
I
new
think it's
one?
called City of Titans or something, which they're doing.
Huh.
Basically, I think the guys responsible for it managed to actually claw the IP away from NCSoft and are now allowed to do something with it.
Oh, that's so
I-
good,
or
because that
something
was
like that.
really the big thing that they couldn't get the IP, because they wanted to continue it.
Yeah.
I think they actually managed to get a large enough sack of gold.
Either that, or maybe that's why it's called City of Titans, because it's City of Heroes, but not because they couldn't.
Yeah,
Could be. So,
statesperson and stuff like that, you know?
yeah, Fate, you talked about Warhammer before. There's 2 Warhammer games that have been shown on E3 this year. There's Total War Warhammer and there's Warhammer End Times, the Vermintide. Are you interested in these games at all?
Well, Total War Warhammer actually looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all hyped for that. As you know, I prefer those kind of games, like I said at the start.
Yeah.
So the fact it combines it with Warhammer is just ideal for me.
Did you like the Dawn of War Warhammer games?
Absolutely.
Alright.
They're brilliant. they're like the Dawn of War. The first one in particular was one of the best RTSs I've ever played.
Agreed.
It was-
I didn't
Fantastic.
really like it. I could see that it was a good RTS, but RTSs just don't do it for me because I'm shit at them.
Well, the thing is, as a big fan of 4Xs, I like RTSs that can go on for a while. And by a while, I mean that I have been in 5-hour plus games of Dawn of War multiplayer.
Then you're just doing it wrong. Or nobody's playing Necrom.
No, it's a case of either people are doing it wrong or all of that, but it's just a case of there was enough balance in there for you to force stalemate.
Yeah, that's true.
And a lot of stalemates.
Yeah.
Like, I played the Imperial Guard an awful lot, and one thing which you could really do with the Imperial Guard is dig the hell in.
Yep.
You know, in the end, it ends up getting a bit political. So you
yeah.
end up with all these alliances to try take down the bloody orcs that are throwing out tons of free orc boys.
I recently
but
picked up
it's
Dawn
great.
of War 2 because, as I understand, that's kind of smaller. That's kind of more squad-based and not kind of as big an RTS.
I really dislike Dawn of War 2. I think it's shite.
But it was on sale.
Dawn of War 2 is...
Did you play it yet?
No.
Dawn of War 2 don't like Retribution. Fixed a lot of problems.
Which one's that? Oh, is that the expansion of Dawn of War 2?
Yes,
I think
it's
I
the last
got like a
expansion.
mega
Fixed
pack
a lot.
of all of it.
Right.
But Retribution actually, in my opinion, made it a much, much better game.
I've
Not
never
least
went back and
because it
tried
didn't
it.
use games for Windows Live.
Oh, yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that it suffers from the modern problem of base building games not actually containing any base building.
Yeah.
I dislike that. RTSs should have bases, as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, it is a different genre.
Yeah, some sort of squad-based tactical thingy.
Yeah, exactly.
But so, yeah, Total War Warhammer is obviously not 40k, but actually fantasy Warhammer.
Yeah.
Is that equally good, or is that
Yeah,
slightly
it's,
disappointing?
in a lot of ways, it's sort of better. It depends how you like your flavour, you know, sci-fi or fantasy. But it should be good. End Times, I have no interest in.
Okay, why not? I've not actually seen the trailer or anything.
Okay,
I
because,
just saw it in the list here.
Basically, what Games Workshop has done is they've killed off the Warhammer Fantasy universe.
Oh? Oh,
Yes.
is it like a Doomsday sort of scenario?
Yeah, that's it. Game is gone, all army books completely invalid, rules invalid, they're making a new game.
Seriously?
Alright.
Did you not know this?
No, I stood off the Warhammer
Yeah,
train ages ago.
Yeah, and the way they're doing it is through this end times thing. Now, some of the races get really cool endings, and that's fair enough. Some of them, the Lizardmen, for example, legitimately do so long and thanks for all the fish. They just, you know, they return to their home planet. You know?
Really?
So, yeah, it's really lame. Everything else that doesn't get any real closure is Skaven did it. You know, Ratmen killed them on the way. That kind
So
of
that
thing.
is that
It's
what's
really
called
bad.
Vermintide?
Yeah, it's probably related, yeah, because it is largely Skaven influenced. But
So is this like
you know,
in the comic book universes when they do like a reboot and like basically make a new universe and
yeah, it's kind of like the typical DC Crisis.
Yeah,
of
Time
Infinite
Crisis or whatever the fuck those are called.
Crisis of Infinite Crisis is what.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you have the burden of lore that something like the Warhammer universe has, this might be a good thing, because you can only string that along so far.
Honestly, I'm going to say one thing about that, and that is no.
Yeah. Wow, that fucking setup, man. That's just beautiful.
It's not a burden. The Warhammer universes, both of them, are so well developed, so full of flavour.
And contradictions.
But that is part
Come
of
on,
it, isn't it? Like,
it's worse.
the whole
There are
point
more
of it is that
Marvel.
everything
There
is
are more
contradicting with
retcons
each
in
other.
40k than in Marvel.
Only recently, which is sort of the problem, which I'm kind of saying here, is that they're retconning everything, and it's fucking stupid. Because, prior to the 40k, they retconned Necrons, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much the first big retcon that they did.
Alright.
I mean, you could bring up squats, for example, but they didn't actually retcon them. They just killed them.
Well, yeah, they were there, though, and now they're not.
Yeah, but that's not retconning, that's
yeah,
they just killed
fair
them off.
enough. But the new edition, they weren't there anymore, so it's kind of like retconning, I guess.
Yeah, but
in a way.
no, because if the situation is it's kind of like retconning, it's not retconning in comparison to a complete overhaul of the lore and the race.
I mean,
and all
honestly,
that
if you just
is
gonna
a
reboot
retcon,
it, why not just make a new IP? But obviously, that has business implications. But
from
the same reason that no video games are new IPs.
Yeah, but from a artistic integrity sort of standpoint,
the best thing,
Games Workshop artistic integrity.
Well, Games Workshop, the best thing that they did for themselves is hand over the lore to the actual people writing the books, and then develop their stuff based on that. That was the best move that they did because they genuinely have good writers.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then they got better writers because of those good writers. And now the lore itself for both universes, which is interesting because fantasy Warhammer books were rubbish for lore, and now they're quite good. So finally they've got that. They've got all this quality that's coming out of it, and they've decided we're not selling enough models. Let's overhaul the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Because Games Workshop suffer from this issue that they're convinced they're a mega corporation for a niche market, and it makes no damn sense whatsoever.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're like, oh, we'll up the prices by tanks by a $5. We've got to stay competitive. With who?
Isn't there the fucking what is it? War Machine?
Yeah,
or
Privateer
something?
Press.
Yeah, but
they're not a
thing.
competitor.
The War Machine is no more popular now than it was 5 years ago.
That's true. Alright, moving swiftly along. Fateweaver, you've brought a topic, and I think we should take it now instead of later, since it's basically related to E3. It was shown there.
It's related to a lot
what
of
game
things.
is it you were wanting to talk about?
Star Citizen.
What is Star Citizen?
Well, that depends on how you look at it now, doesn't it?
Is it the game where I have to pay majillions of dollars and then only get to play a thing where I don't even have the ship I bought?
Is it that, or is it just vaporware? Is it the next big thing? It depends who you ask.
Is it the next big thing?
Yeah.
Find
Star
out inside.
Citizen,
5 reasons why Star Citizen is the next big thing.
Well, now we're content aggregators.
Clickbait, man, in podcast form.
Oh,
we should have a segment where we just read clickbait.
It's bad for it. Star Citizen. If anybody doesn't know what Star Citizen is, firstly, I'm shocked. Secondly, it's essentially Eve. Except you can fly the ships.
And what is Eve?
What do you mean, what is Eve? Everyone knows what Eve is.
Yeah, it's what comes after evening. Or what comes after midday.
Eve is what comes after evening.
Yeah, or it's the wife of Adam. What is Eve?
I thought that was Steve. Anyway,
it's
a space game.
It's not Adam.
It's a space game.
It's Adam and Eve.
No, it's not Lot and his sons. It's Lot and his daughters.
Wow, I never heard
Let's
that
just
one
retcon the Bible.
That's a great point.
Let's get Games Workshop to rewrite the Bible. That'd be a good idea.
With more skulls.
Lo, let me tell you of Adam, who was huge.
Yeah. Taketh thine das plasma cutter.
And lo, God did decree for the Emperor.
I have to say, one thing I love about 40k box sets, just to go back to that tangent, is that they have the names of things in all kinds of different languages. And I just love it in German. Because, yeah, a heavy plasma gun, that's pretty badass. But not as badass as schweres Plasmawerfer.
It's true, everything sounds better in German when it's like something to do with weaponizing.
Yeah.
Flammenwerfer, it's just great. But yeah, Star Citizen is like Eve, and if you don't know what Eve is, it's a space game. Which
it's a really boring game where you don't do anything,
management.
and then sometimes nothing happens.
Right, so it's like 4X.
It's like any space game, pretty much, which is like super floaty and boring and dull, and everything's empty. And
man, did you get me on this podcast to give my opinions, or did you just want to shoot them down?
I wanted to shoot them down. That's why you're here. I wanted you on so you could hear me shit on Eve.
Right, so Eve is a spec MMO that some people think are a little spreadsheety. Now, Star Citizen is what?
Some people.
Star Citizen is going to be a space MMO, which is going to be a little bit spreadsheety, except you can actually fly the ships this time.
So, wait, what are you doing in Eve exactly? Well, you just autopilot them, right? You just
Eve has this just... There's something about Eve that hooks you in. You know, it's one of those. It doesn't matter what you do, you can get really heavily invested in it.
Yeah.
And in my case,
literally,
heavily invested for about 8 years.
You can get heavily invested in it.
Yeah.
Didn't someone use Eve to launder money, like to buy what is it called, Plex or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the problem with Eve these days. It's gone the way of a lot of MMOs, and now you can throw money at it. And what was originally the coolest, unique thing about Eve was that if you played it hard enough, you could play it for free.
Well, it's a good thing Star Citizen doesn't have a system like that.
Well, anyway.
Sorry, Fateweaver, please tell us what is so good about Star Citizen, and I'll shut my stupid mouth for a little bit.
Okay, well, if you're into space games,
You're an idiot.
It's hard to describe because it's essentially, if you were into those sort of games, you already know that it's everything that you've always wanted.
So what does it do different? Why can't we just boot up Eve? Why do we have to wait for Star Citizen to be
Well, in Eve, you can't actually fly your ship. You can't walk around in your ship. You can't interact with anything.
So
everything
is there
is just
dogfights and stuff like that in
Yes,
Star
there
Citizen?
are dogfights and that sort of thing, you know? It's you see, it's really difficult to try describe.
Sorry, did you answer? I didn't actually hear it because you like broke out for a second.
Did I?
Dogfight in Star Citizen?
Yeah, you can dogfight.
All right.
That's
so. How do you fight
things.
in Eve? You just is it like an MMO? You click things and they happen.
Pretty
You don't,
much,
like,
yeah.
have to aim
In
and
Eve,
stuff?
there's a bunch of targets. You click to which target you're going to go for, and then you press your buttons.
I
just
don't
like
know
any other
shit
MMO.
about fuck, obviously, but I'm sitting here imagining it's also a question of scale. Like, the biggest ships you fly in Star Citizen would be towards the smaller end of the ships you fly in Eve. Is that accurate?
I don't know, because you're getting carriers, and they look really big.
How do you?
To the guys that know, or don't know, I own a ship called a Constellation. It's a 5-man ship, and I've got a dope crew.
How much does it cost?
Sorted out for it. It cost, was it 350?
350 gold in the game?
No, you know full well it's real money. It's big money. I
Yes,
spent a lot of money.
I know. I'm basically teasing you about it.
Oh,
well, the thing
you
is,
spent
though,
like £300 on a thing that you can't even see yet because it doesn't exist.
well,
Well,
See,
can you actually walk
the thing.
around it now? Have they modeled the ships yet?
yeah, you can do all the dogfighting and shit like that. They've added it
All
these days, so that one's out the window.
Okay, well.
Yeah, not only can you walk around in the various ships, you can actually fly them and shoot up. They've got a PvE thing going where you get the high score. You can play it with a friend, that sort of thing, you know. So the dog fighting is in there now, which is great because most games actually try to give you the whole game without any of it actually in it, or nothing at all.
Yeah.
This one's actually providing things that are finished.
So it's £300 Star Fox.
That depends how much you sink into it. I mean, if you want to play it later, you can reserve your ship, and it costs only as much as any other
I'm
game.
basically being a dick because I think it does seem interesting, but I also think that people are being way too generous with the game. Was it Kickstarter or was it some other sort of funding thing?
It came from a Kickstarter.
They got like majillions of dollars and decided to expand the scope of the game. And
It's really
basically
hard
seems
to
like
try
it's just going to
convince-
disappear now because
It's really hard to try convince people why I think it's okay to have spent that money, because it is a lot of money.
Yep.
I mean, of course, you could spend £30, you can get access to the game and all of that kind of stuff, just like any other early access game.
Yep.
But I have dropped a particularly large amount of money. But then I looked at it like this. How, do you guys own fight sticks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How much were they?
That's
about
true.
They were like 150,
pretty
200?
expensive.
150 quid.
Yeah,
Fight sticks.
something like that. Yeah.
About 150, 200 quid. How many fighting games do you currently play?
One.
Right.
Street Fighter 4.
There you go.
Yeah.
You see,
so
you've
you
bought
basically bought an
£150
arcade
extension
stick
for
Star
one
Citizen
game.
is what you're saying.
The reason why you do that is because you really like that
Yeah,
genre
yeah,
of games.
that makes sense.
Actually,
I
I
really
also
like
do
this
it for
genre of
nostalgia
games.
because any kind of like old school platformer, I'll use my stick for that as well.
Yeah, but like I have played space games throughout my entire life, you know, including the ones which they originally made, you know?
I think that might be part of the
Um,
disconnect for me because I'm not really a space game guy.
Yeah, well, that's why it's hard to convince people, because
Yeah.
people just think, oh, you've thrown your money away on vaporware, and it's like, yeah, okay.
Well, the difference,
it's not
in my
the
opinion,
smartest
is
decision. I'm not even trying to pretend that it might have been a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But the simple fact is, I have spent my entire life playing these games. I love these games. What I have always wanted from a game is this. You
that
know?
still
Like,
doesn't change the
is this
fact
game.
that you didn't get anything for your money.
No, but I want to actually, and this might be a very weird thing, I actually want to help it happen. This isn't a case of what a lot of Kickstarters have turned into, is that you put money down and you try to get early access or whatever and just play the game and all this kind of thing. I actually want this to happen. I want it to be funded, and I want myself to be on the same feet that I was in Eve as fast as possible, because my best experiences in Eve are generally being in command.
All right.
And I'm very good at it.
Oh.
So having the ability to go out with 5 people in a crew on a ship that's designed to explore the furthest reaches and get a hold of that really fast is incredibly exciting. You know, to me who likes that genre and all of that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
So this
can
game to
definitely
you
see
is
where you're
kind of
coming
the
from.
holy grail.
Yeah, basically that's it. Yeah, it's kind of the
Also,
holy
though,
grail to me.
Are you not kind of doing a pay-to-win thing where you're kind of cheating? Because you're gonna have a massive advantage over the people who just buy the game without getting the big ships, because they're gonna have to grind their way up, right?
Yeah, I am.
All right.
It just depends on how okay you are with that.
Yeah.
A lot of
I mean,
people,
it's
no,
kind
and
of
for
the-
very good reason. Is that it's generally pay to win is never good, but the simple fact of it is, I really, really like this genre.
You really, really want to win. I thought you were
And
gonna say.
I really, it's not a case of wanting to win so much as I really want to get the experience that I left in Eve when Eve got
You
too
really want to do a
crap,
particular thing, and
basically.
you have to be at a particular level to do that thing.
Basically, that's exactly it.
All right.
I just want, because I left Eve when Eve started going downhill. And
Downhill.
I have had that hole in my life ever since.
Am I wrong in remembering that you sold your Eve account for some amount of money, and
Yes.
then you basically, it's like you put that amount of money towards Star Citizen?
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
With added bonuses from Tans and Cat, but I've never actually mentioned that.
Oh.
Because I didn't want everybody to give her and me a lot of shit, because it's a lot of controversy. But yeah,
You basically you had to chip in for the whole family to be able to afford this fucking
it's a case of,
$300
I
spaceship.
thought, like, if I told people that my girlfriend actually bought me access to Star Citizen, I was just thinking, well, fuck. Then actual money has been spent, and
Yeah.
I would get a lot of grief.
You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
I mean,
so
about
it's a
that?
lot easier.
She's a good
That's
girl.
an awesome girlfriend.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
definitely.
we all know how lucky I am. Like, we all know how lucky I am.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you seem good together, I guess.
Well,
I mean, she's
It's
lucky
worked
as
out
well.
so far.
You're a nice bloke.
online, I'm awful.
Yeah, that's true.
Real life, I'm just plugged in like a corpse in front of a like PC.
Yeah. And, well, the situation and everything. Anyway, I'm sorry for sort of going super negative, but it's always fun to argue,
No,
especially with Fate. I love arguing with Fate. It's good fun.
The difference is I actually believe passionately in this one, so I'm not just screaming various swear words.
Yeah,
I'm actually trying to convince
I'm also
people.
playing devil's advocate a lot because I have a Star Citizen account and everything. I'm kind of hyped for it, but
Wait, I didn't know that. You're full of shit. You absolute sod. You've been giving me all that crap and you've gone and done it as well.
no, I didn't pay that much money for it.
Wow.
The basic
Honestly,
one.
I don't give a crap
You've
about
not even
Star
told me you're
Citizen,
gonna be on my
and I
crew.
probably wouldn't throw a lot of money after it. But if it was able to like try it for free or something, I would definitely jump in and give it a whirl once it comes out.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what the
don't know
end
how it
model
will work,
is. I think it's
actually,
just
yeah.
buy to play. I'm
I
not
don't know if
sure.
it'll be subscription based. I don't think so.
I'm not actually sure either.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it to be released, if it ever is, and I'm fearful that it won't be. But I think we should move on to the next topic of conversation. Anderson,
Yes.
how about you?
Yeah, the final topic. This is the reason. I'll start with the reason for this topic. The three of us are in separate states of relationship. Fate, you live with your... I actually don't know. Is Tansen your girlfriend, your fiancé, or your wife?
All of the above, I suppose, sooner or later.
Wait, so are you married?
She's my girlfriend that I desperately wish to
Okay.
Okay.
And I have a girlfriend who lives about a town over, and Dope, well, he's Dope. So we're all three at...
I'm bleeding over here, man. Oh, fuck.
Wow.
So we're all three at very different states of a relationship. So I wanted to talk a little about the whole concept of settling down with a significant other and relationships in
Okay.
general.
Okay.
I have nothing to
This
add.
is interesting because I've done it twice.
You've done it twice?
I've been in a relationship. I've been in 2 long-term relationships. I've been in one since I was 17.
Okay.
So I came out of like a 7-8 year old. 8. I came out. That's dangerous.
You came
to
into
say.
a 7 or 8 year old?
Retcon.
What are you saying here?
I came out of a 7 again. Oh, wow. Okay.
When I was 17, I came inside a 7-year-old.
relationship.
Mulligan.
Is what I was trying to say, but there you go. And then I went into another one.
Alright.
So I've been in 2 long-term relationships.
So did you move in with this other person as well?
Yeah. Basically, I fell in love when I was 17, and I moved in with them when I was 18.
Alright.
And I was with them until I was about 25.
Alright.
And
is it okay
then-
if I ask what happened?
Well, disaster happened. I fled the country, and then I ended up in a relationship with Townsend. And I've
So
been there ever since.
this makes it sound to our listeners who don't know like you murdered this person or something. Why did you flee the country? That sounds terrible.
Because it was terrible. I wasn't. It was awful.
So what
I
did you
didn't
do?
murder
Did you
anybody,
burn
but
down the
every-
house? What happened?
Well, no,
what did
every
you
single
do?
day. Every single day, I spent feeling like I was going to be murdered.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Because well, the family were very overtly threatening.
All right.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It was much less of an issue with her, and every issue with me feeling I woke up every day feeling like I was going to be killed.
Wow.
My life was generally being sabotaged, and I wasn't allowed to do various things in order to make it better, which ended up causing all kinds of problems. And well, it was just awful. There
Okay.
you go.
All right. So it just broke apart after that. It didn't. It wasn't a.
Well, I
workable
literally
relationship
dropped everything
anymore.
and left.
Well, that-
All right.
Nothing broke apart. I left.
That's really good
Okay.
perspective then, because you've then been in a bad relationship and also obviously
Yeah.
now in a great one.
Yes, which is weird because I didn't think that actually happened in life.
Yeah. So
How did you meet Tansen?
An anime convention.
Okay.
At an anime convention is where I met her.
what, you were leering at her cosplay and she fell for your beard?
No, everybody else was leering at her cosplay. I don't think I really noticed her until we started having a laugh in a roleplay game which I was playing.
Oh my god! Wait, you met her like through roleplay?
Well, the thing is, it was at an
Kind of?
anime convention, but the thing is, everybody that ran it were role players.
Oh,
And we went in the operations tent essentially at the end of it, whilst everybody else was sleeping, and we just played roleplay, and she just happened to be there. And,
All right.
Wow,
Why didn't I know
had a
this
laugh.
story? This is actually great.
Oh, I've got a million of them, Dope. Like, I have a lot of stories.
Next week's Dopecast is cancelled in favor of story time with Uncle Fate.
And if you ever want to hear stories, I've got them.
That's actually like super
I
sweet.
volunteer.
It's so nice that you could like I don't know. It seems.
I mean, I owned a gaming
because of
store,
like
so
you
you
had
know
the
I've
gaming
got
store and
stories.
shit, and then you found a girl through like that hobby. It seems like super nice.
Yeah,
seems
it's-
almost like
it's-
Hollywood-esque.
It's very ideal.
yeah.
But yeah, it was through that.
All right.
I think one day I told her she was in love with me, and then it turns out that
Wait,
she
one
wasn't.
day... Wait, what? Run that
That's
by
just
me
how
again.
alpha he is.
It's
He went
exactly-
up to her and said,
Yeah, it's
Constance,
exactly how
you're
it
in love with
sounds.
me, and I'm not hearing any more about it.
It is genuinely, it's exactly how it sounds. We were talking on Skype. I said I said something along the lines of, "You know, you love me, right?" Like,
Oh.
but I was not joking about it. It was being genuine. And,
Ah.
and I think she told me to fuck off, and she went to work, and then came back and said, "Oh, fuck, I do."
Wow.
Like
it's
a
great.
boss.
Yeah, fucking hell.
But the leering over the cosplay thing was this was like a year after I'd actually first met her at this anime convention. And you mentioned about leering on the cosplay. It's funny because at the time she was actually underaged.
Oh.
What is
Yeah.
what is underage in England?
Under 18. So she was 17.
All
I
right.
have to ask because it's 15 here in Denmark.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Well,
We like to
there's a
start
difference
it
between the
young.
age of...
Well, actually, the UK's weird. It's legal to have sex at 16, but it's not okay to admit it until you're 18.
yeah, fair enough.
So you can't have any pictures of your girlfriend at all until you're 18.
Ah, yeah.
Very
I mean,
odd.
yeah, you can't do porn and that kind of stuff either before you're 18.
Yeah,
right?
same here.
Yeah.
Also prostitution, which is legal here.
Yeah,
Good
but this
old
is just
Denmark.
like topless photos on your phone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Anyway,
if you're like under the age of 18 and you
Yeah.
sext someone, you're creating child
Yeah,
pornography.
same here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is
Um,
kind of weird, but yeah.
But yeah, I got very lucky, and I've had both kinds of relationship.
So, Anderson,
Yeah,
how about you? You also have a girlfriend that lives a town over.
I do.
How
And
did you
she
meet her?
is moving to this town ASAP, so I'm a little hyped for that.
Oh, but in a different
In a different apartment. We actually used to live together a few years ago.
Okay.
And there were sparks.
Oh yeah, this is...
There were sparks,
sorry, go
and
ahead.
they were not necessarily of the romantic kind. She's fucked in the head, and so am I. And it came to the point where when she was in a bad state, I'd spend all my energy helping her. That would put me in a bad state, and she would, even
Right.
though she didn't have any energy to spare, use all her energy on me, and we'd kind of drag each other down into a whirlpool of hatred and despair. So.
Ah, l'amour.
So we've kind of ended up with we're back together. We had several breakups, but we are not going to live together.
All right.
You know what?
Because
That
you've
makes
tried it
perfect
and it doesn't
sense.
work?
Yeah, it really works for us.
All right.
That actually makes perfect sense because you're right. That sort of thing is cyclical. Me and Tanzan have mental issues between us as well, and it often does feel like it goes that way. That one person uses all their energy, like you say, to get the other one up, and then only for the other one to have to do it again.
It's also
And honestly, that does sound like a really good solution.
you love the other person, so it doesn't matter that you're at zero. It doesn't matter that you don't have any energy, because for them you absolutely do, and you will be there no matter how you feel. But that just ends up burning you out.
Yeah. It's only fine for my relationship because she has so many cats. But yeah, I'm actually really quite glad that you've done that, Anderson, because that seems to make perfect sense.
So right now we don't see enough of each other because she has a 40-kilometer drive here, and I don't have a car, so it's
Ooh.
all on her.
And there's the difficulty.
So that's kind of shit. So when she moves to a town, that's going to change so much. We're going to be able to see each other as much as we want, but no more than that, because at the end we go home to our separate places.
Or as little as you want,
Yeah.
yeah, because you'll still have your own places. You don't have to come home to each other.
And the
if
thing
you,
is,
if you're not doing for it.
she is anything but clingy. If she wants to hang out and I tell her, you know what, I really just don't feel like it, that'll be fine. There'll be no drama, no bullshit. I am so lucky. And we met online.
Yeah?
Through like a dating site or
A dating site for... Yeah, a dating site.
Alright, yeah.
Um,
You don't have to go into it.
And
Sorry.
she messaged me saying, "Hi, you look like an interesting person. Are you?"
You look like an interesting
Yeah.
person.
And we talked for a bit, and then we...
Sorry, it's just I'm trying to bite my tongue so bad. It's just like you look like an interesting person. Are you tied down right now?
It wasn't that kind of dating site.
Okay, I honestly thought it was.
No, Okay, let's have it. It was a dating site for gay, transsexual, and bisexual people.
Oh.
Oh,
She's
right,
bisexual,
okay.
I'm bisexual. We weren't exactly in there looking for each other, but it just sort of happened. And she messaged me and said,
enough.
"You look interesting. Are you?" And we talked for a bit, and then we stopped talking because she went and found herself a boyfriend.
Oh. Oh no.
Wow.
But
Did you suck his dick?
no,
To,
I never met him.
Establish your
I suppose
dominance.
that's the advantage when you're both bi, isn't it? Look, I will show you how much I love you.
No, the way it came out, they had certain needs that the other person couldn't meet. I'm not going to go into her needs, but his needs was something about being dressed up as a little girl and having men shit on him. And she didn't really want to be a part of that. So they came to the
Niche.
yeah. So they came to the understanding that he does his thing
So basically-
without her, and she does her thing without him.
No. So basically, like this average Danish person.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Later, I ended up being her thing. We got to talking again, and I'm not
Alright.
much of a risk taker, but something just. I don't know, something just clicked, and I took my car I had at that time and drove 80 kilometers at 1:30 in the morning for a booty call. And,
Please do not say booty call after saying about shitting on someone.
and then we pretty much had sex non-stop for 2 days and decided that we were not seeing each other, and she was going to dump him.
All right. Well, that's
I'm
different than
dying.
an anime con, at least. I'm fairly sure Fateweaver has the most embarrassing story out of the two of you.
Hey?
Yeah. I mean,
What? Funny.
no, legit. Like anime. Come on. What is this?
Oh, right, yes. I've given myself a headache. It's just laughing too loud. God.
Fateweaver is completely flabbergasted here.
Just, you have a way with words, Anderson. You have a way with words,
Try.
mate.
Oh, fucking
Oh,
hell.
love it. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So how about you, Dope?
Ugh.
You're not in a relationship at the moment, but
Oh, yeah, let's not
what
forget
what
you.
are you looking for? What do you think you would bring to a relationship, and what would you expect from it?
Nothing at all. I
Critique.
am not interested in the relationship. I'm basically the forever alone manosphere kind of person at this
Why
point.
have you
And
I've
then
kind of-
one day you fall in love
I've
and
kind
then
of
you
given
realise...
up.
given up on it? So
because-
it's not because you've looked at it and said, "Well, this has nothing to offer." You've just given up.
Basically, it seems like a lot of work and a lot of hassle for little reward, or the type of reward that doesn't appeal to me the same way. I'm not interested in somebody to share my life with. I enjoy it well enough on my own, you know. Like
Fair enough.
having to care and bother with another person so intimately.
I mean,
just isn't.
I'm
gonna
gonna say
work
the
for me
most
'cause
annoying
I'm a
thing-
if I
terrible
may,
person.
that you might find that changes when you live on your own.
Yeah. it
Also,
might, it
I'm
might.
just going to say the most annoying thing ever and say that's because you haven't met the right person.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, if
Because all the
you know, you hear so many people like talking about how their girlfriends don't allow them to hang out with their guy friends and stuff like that.
yeah, but that's
And that just sounds like a massive pain
Yeah,
in
but
the ass.
you
Like,
don't
any
want
kind of
those
relationship
girlfriends.
Like that
Yeah,
sounds
ass.
so wrong.
You got
Yeah.
to look at the flip side. I mean, mine doesn't. do
mine
that.
doesn't
No,
do
yeah,
that.
that's
You just
true.
got to get a
You
good
have
one.
similar
Tantum
interests and everything.
doesn't restrict
so-
me in any way, shape, or form. It's pretty. That's why I think I'm so lucky, you know.
Mm, yeah.
And she can't be the only one out there, you know.
No, of course not. But all the good ones are attracted to good ones. Like, it's difficult, you know. When you have so little to offer, there's so little to
Was that,
get
was that
for
a really
yourself,
nice
you know?
compliment that you kind of hid there?
What?
Because I'm taking it as one.
I honestly,
Yeah,
I
that's
honestly think
compliment.
as long as you don't think it's worth bothering with, then you don't have to seek it out because you haven't met the right one. If you meet the right one, then suddenly you'll feel it's worth bothering with because suddenly it'll be there. There's no reason to try to force it before then.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been
I
interested
mean,
in dating and all that kind of stuff, but sure, you meet friends, and we might meet a friend that turns into something else at some point. Like,
Yeah, you don't have to look for it to happen.
yeah, it's true.
So maybe it will happen, maybe it don't. The point is you're content as you are without.
Yeah, it's
So
not something that is a burning hole in my life. You know, it's not something that
Yeah.
I'm sad
Some
about
people
or
like
desperately
to
seeking.
kiss and hug at 4 o'clock in the morning. You like to rant about porn on Twitter. Like, that's enough for you.
Yeah. Definitely.
I have that.
Honestly,
I follow
isn't that what Twitter was
porn comments
invented
thing,
for?
and it's pretty much identical to Dope's Twitter feed.
Christ.
Honestly, isn't ranting about porn the reason we have Twitter?
Yeah, pretty much. For me, at least.
I thought it was ranting about just girls in general.
Yeah. And also feminism.
I'd say that was the same thing, but these days there's more weird guys screaming about it than there are girls.
Yeah, it's true. All right.
Whatever.
Well, do you guys have anything else to say about the relationship general thread we've got going here?
No.
Any advice?
Don't
to
ask
our
for
listeners?
advice.
Don't try and force it. When it's right, it's right.
So you're basically anti-rape?
No, I'm very pro.
Or are you talking about foreplay here? Like, don't try to force it, but when it's right,
I'm
it's
very
right?
pro-rape, but only consensual.
Well, at least you didn't accidentally end up talking about coming out of 7 or 8 year olds. You're on an advantage there.
Well, I thought,
as far as advice goes, I can't
I
give
thought,
any
I thought the
because
bad
my
thing
life
was
has taught me
coming
it's completely
into a
random.
7 or 8 year old.
Yeah,
Well,
more evidence that
potato,
way,
potato.
I suppose. At least
We'll
you
let
can
the court
use
decide.
power or something if you're doing it on the outside.
I swear, officer. We'll see what the judge says.
Yeah. All right then. I think we'll wrap it up
Yeah.
here. Anderson, who are we having on next time as our guest?
We are having
Sad. I was
Kevin.
enjoying talking shit.
And,
Who's Kevin?
well, I'd actually throw that back to you. Who is Kevin?
Who's Kevin? Kevin is the
I
guy
know
who
who Kevin
edits a lot of the videos for the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
He's hung around the community, not like super actively because he's got his own shit going on. He also does like Let's Plays on YouTube and does reviews and stuff. But yeah, he knows the community fairly well, and it'll be interesting to have him on. I don't think I've actually ever spoken to him in voice.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I was kind of interested because he's sort of one of the faces behind it.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of the shadow government.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some more inner circle will be revealed. And actually, I have a lot of questions for him, which will be interesting.
Awesome.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks everybody for listening. As always, you can give us feedback on dopelives@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at dopefish_lives.
I'm at Sir Anderson1.
Fateweaver, do you have a Twitter you wish to shout out?
At Fateweaver GM.
Okay.
If you really want to, I don't really say much.
You should follow him. He's an interesting guy.
I think most of what I say gets retweeted by you anyway.
That's true. You can also just follow me and you'll see like 90% of his feed.
Yeah.
Because that's
Actually, I'm actually quite
very
surprised.
often.
I'm actually quite surprised how much fun talking shit for 2 hours was.
Yeah.
It was quite good.
And hopefully we'll have you back on sometime.
Anytime.
We'll see about that. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, tutty bye. Bye. Don't microwave tea.